Coming up, we have stories about arguments over houses, stolen leftovers, micromanaging cooking, canceling gifts, giving away concert tickets, movie spoilers. We also have cake stories, spicy stories, and a brand new segment to the show. It's called the Tony Spark Dance-Off. It's not really the Tony Spark Dance-Off. Am I the astronaut for refusing to sell the house my wife wants me to sell? When my ex and I divorced, I moved out and she lived in our house until she found her own place. I bought the house 3 years before we got married and her name was added to the deed when we were married. At the time of our divorce, I was 9 years into the 15-year mortgage. When she found her own place, we decided to keep the house in both of our names and rent it out because neither of us wanted to sell it. For the past 6 years, we have rented out the house and basically broke even. She manages the property more than I do, so she kept the meager profits. Now that the house is paid off, we are actually going to start turning an actual profit. We agreed to a 60-40 split of the profits, with her keeping 60 because she's the one that deals with the tenants. My wife, who I married last year, really wants me to sell this house. At first, she wasn't that insistent, but lately she has become so. She said there's no reason for me to co-own a house with my ex-wife. She also says that now that it's paid off, we could do a cash sale and make a lot of money. Neither my ex nor I want to sell, and it's our house, so I don't really see the point of these conversations. Even if I agreed with her, my ex wouldn't agree, and it would be an unnecessary fight. I'd have to get a lawyer. I'm exhausted just thinking about it. Last night, my wife asked me if I intended to co-own this house with my ex forever. I told her truthfully that we had many times discussed eventually giving it to our son once he reaches the appropriate life stage. She was upset by this answer. Ooh, I don't feel like that's the answer to get upset about. She asked if I intended to give a house to my stepkids or any future kids we might have. I told her this is an apples and oranges situation. The house isn't fully mine. No penny has ever gone from our shared household into that house. It's more my ex's than mine at this point, really, not legally. Legally it's 50-50, but she spends more time on it. Also, it isn't a nice house, not like the one my wife and I bought after our wedding. The house I co-own with my ex is a small 2-bedroom house. It's not like he's gonna get a mansion. All the same, she is very upset. She said she feels like the house is a source of strife in our relationship and she wants it gone. I told her I love her, but the answer is no. She's been cold to me all morning as a result. Okay, let's get into this.
That's fun. Why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, babe. Like you're the one causing the strife. You're the one making it a big deal. This is an NTA for me. This is just passive income. Like he's making money without actually really having to do anything, and something that he can leave his child. She just doesn't like it because the ex's name is attached to it, but there's no problems there. There's nothing going on there. She's making a mountain out of a molehill. Hill.
Hey, molehill. I did that last week. Molehills, they're very tiny.
In solidarity.
But very strong. They do a lot of digging.
Is it
not
the
money?
Worth it.
Is it the money or is it the connection to the ex?
I think it's the connection to the ex, because like you said, it's a 2-bedroom house. It's nothing big. It's not their home. This is literally just income because they co-own it. I think the wife is just jealous that he has some kind of something with his wife, his ex-wife, my bad. And she doesn't want any part of that. She doesn't want any connection there, even though they share a child together.
That was going to be my point.
So what is she going to be like? You have to give up your son because I don't want any connection there. That would be my fight back to my wife if she was causing this type of issue. Because there's no need for this. It's just like, what thread can I pick at today and cause problems in our relationship because it's eating away at my brain? Get the worm out of your brain and quit concentrating on stuff. You're just causing problems, and it's hurting you in the process.
There are a lot of problems with her reaction to this. First, she knew about this whenever they got together. She knew about this before getting married. She knew about this before buying a house with him. She knew about this before moving in with him. She knew about this.
Check.
And never had a problem with it until just all of a sudden she decided it was a problem, right? Maybe it's because it's just one more thing that he has to communicate with his ex about. Here's a solution for you. If it is in fact the connection to your ex that makes this a problem, put the house in a trust. Put it in a trust so that there's no direct connection anymore, and that trust is set for your son to be able to access whenever he turns of age, right? So there, you put it away, it's safe, nobody can touch it.
I get
it has one intended purpose here.
I get what you're saying, but I do not think that he should have to do that.
He shouldn't have to do that.
And the fact that he would have to go,
but I don't think it makes any difference for him.
But he would have to go spend. He would have to go spend the money to
put it in a trust.
To put it in a trust and do all of that.
Yeah.
To make his wife happy when there's no reason that she should be upset about it in the first place. I don't know if you want to find common ground that way, but this kind of stuff would be like this is what pisses you off in a marriage. This is what causes dents in a marriage.
Yeah.
And you just keep digging, and it's at stuff that really isn't a problem until it becomes a huge problem. And then you've opened Pandora's box and you can't close it.
Am I the astronaut for accidentally serving the wrong cake at my friend's baby shower?
What?
So my best friend, Megan, 29 female, is expecting her first baby, and I, 30 female, offered to host her baby shower. I wanted everything to be perfect. Cute decorations, mocktails, a theme, a little cutie is on the way, because orange is adorable, and of course, the cake. I ordered 2 cakes, one for the shower itself, a classy orange and white cake with "Welcome Baby Carter" written on it, and one smaller one as a surprise for my husband's work party later that day. His said, "Good luck, Dave, we'll miss you." Oh no. I think I see where this is going. You see where this is going already, don't you? The bakery called the morning of the shower saying the cakes were ready, and I picked them up in a rush because I was running behind. They're both white boxes, frosted white with orange accents because apparently Fate has a sense of humor, and because of Taylor. And I didn't double check which was which. Fast forward to the baby shower, 40 guests, pastel balloons, Megan glowing and emotional. I bring out the cake, everyone gathers around, phones out, she makes a cute speech, and we yell, "Cut the cake!" She turns it around to show everybody, and yeah, it says, "Good luck, Dave. We'll miss you." Everyone froze. Her mom gasped like someone died. One of the guests, a nurse, said, "Is this a gender reveal?" Okay, hold on. What about "Good luck, Dave, we'll miss you" makes you think that this is a gender reveal, lady? Megan just stared at it and went, "Who's Dave?" I started laughing so hard I couldn't breathe. Then I had to explain that Dave's my husband's coworker who's moving to Texas, not the baby. Half the guests found it hilarious. The other half looked like I had just cursed their unborn child. Megan laughed eventually, thank God, but her mom was convinced it was a bad omen.
Oh my gosh.
And told me I needed to make it right. Spiritually. Whatever that means. So now the running joke in our friend group is that the baby's name is Dave Jr., and I'm apparently banned from cake duty for all future events. Am I the astronaut for not checking the boxes and turning a baby shower into a farewell party for a middle-aged accountant?
Wow. Straight to the black hole with you. You've gone too far this time.
I would be making that kid's middle name Dave so fast. So fast.
I'm like, is the cake still edible? That's all I need to know. Can we still eat it? Is the icing too rich, or is it just right? It's not that big a deal.
It's not that big of it. And it sounds like...
I mean, yeah, like is it great? No, but it's funny. Like it's laugh at it and then have a piece of cake.
Okay. Now, in your position, you could have handled this differently because when you saw what it said, laughing was your instinct. It was your reaction. Reading the room may have led you to being like, "Oh my gosh, I am so sorry." Like first, before laughing, right? Had you not laughed, half of the people there wouldn't have laughed, though. Everybody would have been serious about it. So maybe that was the best move there. We could have done that differently. My question is, what the fuck does making it right spiritually mean with a cake? What does that mean?
To make it right spiritually, you have to bake a cake with love and some water that's special and make it right. Make it right.
Listen, you're going to have to get another one of the right cakes made because this one's done and Dave's going to be disappointed because now he's got a baby cake, right? You got to get 2 correct cakes made because now you them both up. You can't just one up. That's not how it works. There's 2 cakes. Am I the astronaut for blasting my coworker in the kitchen over stolen leftovers? Define blasting, please. I, 29 male, work at a mid-sized design firm. I bring lunch almost every day from home because I like cooking and trying new dishes. Over the past month, I noticed one of my coworkers, Alex, 35 female, has been showing up in the communal kitchen about 45 minutes after lunch starts, taking my labeled Tupperware leftovers and eating them. At first, I thought maybe she mistook them for hers. So one day, I walked into the kitchen when she opened the fridge and I asked, "Hey, Alex, is that my box you have?" She got flustered and said, "Oh, sorry, I thought it was mine," and left. I let that slide. But the second time and the third time, I said out loud in the kitchen while she was opening it, "That's the box I brought. I will be eating it later. Could you please not take it?" She stared at me, told me I was overreacting, said I should label it better if I don't want people to touch it. I felt humiliated because some coworkers overheard.
Oh, hell no.
They know. Later, I posted in the company chat everyone sees a polite but pointed message reminder. Please respect others' food and labeled containers in the kitchen. If you accidentally take someone else's food, please return it or replace it. I didn't name names, but it was obvious who I meant. Alex confronted me and accused me of public shaming, saying I should have talked to her privately. Some coworkers told me I was petty and should have just let it go. Now Alex is giving me the cold shoulder. Management heard about the chat message and people are split. Some think I was justified, others think I made it dramatic. So am I the astronaut? Here's what the others don't know, in my opinion. They don't know this is the third and fourth and fifth time that this has happened. They don't know that you've already had conversations privately about this and it's continued to escalate because she has ignored your boundaries. People don't know that. And if she wants to push you on this, maybe they should. Maybe they need the whole story about habitual food stealer Alex, who's butthurt now because she says I'm public shaming her for finally calling her on her bullshit. What she's really heard about is that she can't be a trash panda anymore and go to the communal fridge and just scrape everything out of there. That's what she's mad about, is now she's got extra eyes on her. She didn't give a shit about being shamed.
Lunch box with the zippers that have the thing so you can put
And
the
a
tiny little lock on it. The tiny little luggage lock, and that solves all your problems because that girl can't undo the lock. And if she does, then she will 100% know that she is crossing a line. And a threatening note that says, "Don't f with my food, comma, Alex, exclamation point."
Am I the astronaut for being controlling about the cleaning when my boyfriend was cooking for me? I, 48 female, work full-time, often from home, and I'm a single parent to a 14-year-old. I live in a small open-plan apartment, so my kitchen, living area, and workspace are all in one space. When it's messy, I can't escape it. My job is demanding and takes a lot of mental and physical energy. By the end of the day, I'm drained, and keeping up with housework feels like a never-ending battle. I'm often too embarrassed to have people over because it never feels properly presentable. Yesterday, I used my lunch break to deep clean the kitchen and bathroom. Took almost 2 hours and I had to make up the time by working late. I was so happy to finally have gotten on top of a few things and wanted the place to stay nice for a little while. My boyfriend, 55 male, doesn't officially live with me, but he stays over about 6 nights a week and cooks and eats here daily. He helps where he can, loading the dishwasher, wiping surfaces, taking bins out, etc., but the majority of jobs are on me. When he came over after work, he brought ingredients to cook dinner. Admittedly, has been a little twitchy about the kitchen. I followed him around with a sponge, picked up dropped food, rinsed the sink, hand-washed utensils, and wiped counters as he cooked, which annoyed him. The moment that really set him off was when I turned a pepper grinder upright after he'd left it upside down, leaving the pepper on the counter. He snapped and said I was being passive-aggressive, making him feel incompetent, and that his nice gesture wasn't appreciated. I apologized and explained I just wanted to keep the kitchen nice for a while, but he was still irritated. When we sat down to eat, he asked why I looked annoyed. I said I just felt like no one respected how hard I worked to get things clean. He blew up and threatened to go home, saying he wouldn't cook for me again. He and my daughter have both been rolling their eyes as he cooked and saying things like, "Oh God, mom's on about the cleaning again," which made me feel dismissed. I said I didn't expect everyone else to deep clean, but some acknowledgement of why I might want to keep it nice would go a long way. Instead, he told me I was controlling and that no one wants to be around me when I'm like this. Later that night, when I got up to bed, I found the sink full of food scraps, the hob covered in sauce platters, and dirty dishes dishes left on the side. I don't know if it was just because of the argument, but after being made to feel like I was the problem, it really felt like the final straw. So, am I the astronaut? I genuinely can't tell. I can read this part again. Sink full of food scraps. So they made a mess on purpose? Edited to add, I think I might be the asshole because my partner is generally very kind and helpful and emotionally intelligent, yet despite this, is still telling me that my behavior while he was cooking was unacceptable and intolerable. At the time, I felt that I was justified in wanting the work I had done to stay intact just for a short while. I really found it difficult to understand why he couldn't see my point of view, but his feelings were so strong about the situation and he was so angry and upset with my behavior that I genuinely don't know whether I was the asshole for being so pedantic about the cleaning. He told me that the next time I have done deep cleaning, he doesn't want to come over to the house because I make everybody feel like they can't touch anything afterwards. This is where it is unclear to me whether my behavior is acceptable or not. I feel that the situation could have been easily diffused with a little recognition of how much effort I had put into and understanding that I might want to keep on top of it so that I can enjoy my clean space for a while. My partner feels very differently about it, so I truly don't know if I'm the asshole or not. Top comments. ESH. I know you just cleaned, but people can't cook with someone following behind them cleaning like you were. The biggest problem is that you have another adult living there who is not equally contributing. You didn't mention it, so it doesn't sound like your 14-year-old is helping either. It's time that you give your kid some responsibilities and tell your boyfriend to either start spending more time at his place or start at least cleaning after himself when he cooks. OP's response, you have an absolutely valid point about my teenager. She is currently in a very difficult phase behaviorally and with her mental health. Because she's a teenager. And I am admittedly really struggling with some of the behaviors. I would love for her to help me out more, but at present, all of my focus is going into the battle of trying to get her to attend regular education. I asked her to keep on top of her own bedroom, but I don't currently enforce any formal chores on her outside of please don't actively trash what I just cleaned. This is entirely on me. I guess I'm picking my battles a bit at the moment. That's important. We will revisit. ESH, the next comment says, when he came over after work, quoting OP here, he brought ingredients to cook dinner. Admittedly, I was being a little twitchy about the kitchen. I followed him around with the sponge, picked up dropped food, rinsed the sink, hand-washed utensils, and wiped counters as he cooked. JFC, have mercy, that sounds annoying as hell. I'd have snapped too. That said, he probably was passive-aggressive back by leaving a mess on purpose. May I suggest the next time you let him cook and then you two clean up together afterward? Also, if he's there 6 nights a week and cooks and eats there, he basically is living with you. OP's response, thank you for putting this perspective forward. It's exactly the element I'm struggling with, so it's good to hear from unbiased third parties. The only defense I can offer for my over-the-top reaction to his cooking last night was that I didn't want to have to get back up after dinner and clean again. In my head, knowing that he is a pretty messy cook, he's a professional chef by trade, so he's very used to having kitchen porters and infinite quantities of cookware. I just wanted to tackle it as we went along so that I could relax for the rest of the night. I totally take your point, though. Okay, let's talk about this.
Man, OP seems fried with the work and like being mentally exhausting, teenager being mentally exhausting, not knowing that your boyfriend lives with you or not. I don't know, it sounds mentally exhausting. But OP was probably being over the top the way she was going behind him cleaning. And you can clean as you go, but I think once you set something down and someone picks it up and starts wiping it, like it's a lot and it would probably be a lot. But I think OP is struggling to help control the situation with her child. And then she cleaned her house and she did have control over that situation. And then it felt like someone was coming in and messing it up. Yeah. The situation she did have control over. So I think she's probably overreacting to other stressors that aren't even directly related to the situation. But it is an ESH, but I think it's a fixable ESH for me. And I know people disagree and say NTA or think that, she's completely in the wrong. But I think, in my opinion, OP seems to be struggling and I'm not going to trash
I agree with
this
you.
person.
Thunder Quickies begin now. Am I the astronaut for changing my roommate's Netflix password after they used my bank card to pay for their account without asking? My roommate apparently forgot their card details or something, so they used my debit card once and I trusted them. Next month, they set their Netflix to auto-renew with my card and didn't even bother to ask. I changed the password and restricted my card. He's furious and says I made him lose a subscription they paid for emotionally. Not gonna lie, I think he has too much of an ego, but still, am I the astronaut? Edit, yes, I did close/freeze the card. I'm still waiting for the new one. Thoughts? Go.
I want to emotionally buy 5 Lamborghinis.
What does they were paying for things emotionally mean? How do you emotionally pay for things?
It's easy. Just
I love lamp, so I bought lamp.
emotionally.
Is that how that works? Okay, no, it's NTA. No. You did what you had to do to protect yourself, because if you hadn't done this, there would be an escalation. 100% NTA. Tell him.
Yeah.
No. AITA for posting a clean the toilet sign in the work bathroom. Am I the astronaut for posting a sign that says, got explosive poops? Please pick up the toilet brush and clean up after yourself. Thank you. For context, I work at a small business that has multiple restrooms, but the one inside the production area is the one that is used by us employees. The other is more private, mainly used by the boss for his morning poops, LOL. Lately, the main bathroom toilet has been spackled nearly every day, and after a particular person uses it, he leaves it in an absolutely disgusting state after using it, and the ladies have been a little upset because they also used the same restroom. Yesterday, a sign was placed on the inside of the door instructing people to clean up after themselves. This morning, someone took it personal and called the boss to complain. The boss called me, he was laughing, and asked me to reword the sign, not because it isn't needed, but because the dirty deucer was complaining. So, am I the astronaut?
You left booty crumbs on the toilet?
Not my butt dust. Not my butt dust.
Busty thunder?
That has been an actual
dusty,
thing in this office before.
Butt dusty thunder.
Look,
this wouldn't happen if we had a bidet.
You do the crime, you do the time, or you clean it up. You know what I mean? So look, I feel like we should all have a very Boy Scouts, like, leave no trace methodology when it comes to restrooms, right? If you go in there and shit your guts out and drop a deuce.
Hold on, I just feel like we need to clarify that the butt dusties were not by anybody who's currently in this office.
Yes.
Wasn't me.
Needs to be
It's all I can
clarified.
say.
No. All right, next one. Will I be the astronaut for canceling the bounce house for block party? The other day, I saw a post on our local community Facebook page that they were having a block party for Halloween on October 25th, Saturday. They were looking for people to help and contribute and also join the fun. I was excited to meet neighbors and for my kids to meet other local kids. I decided I would sponsor a bounce house. The weather's predicted to rain all day Saturday, so the block party neighbors had decided to change the date to October 30th, which falls on a Thursday. So would I be the astronaut for canceling the bounce house since that date doesn't work for my family's schedule and we won't be able to attend? I'm ultimately responsible for this rental if something happens to it. For additional context, I do not live on the same block as the block party, several streets over. I have a regular work schedule, and my children have school and parties and to prepare for on October 31st.
Bounce houses are so cool, and I love them so much.
That's the end of that thought? How come everything you say feels like it stops at a comma, but the second half of the sentence just never arrives?
You know how, like, wasps rub their hands together?
And my question here is now, it doesn't sound like anybody outside of your head has made you feel like an asshole about this, but you're feeling like an asshole about this.
Offer for the others to pay. Be like, hey, I'm not going to pay for this anymore. I'm not going to be there. Y'all want to pay? If not, no bounce.
You know,
no bounce for you.
That's a really smart way to approach this because it gives them the opportunity to take it over. And then they can't hold it against you.
Yeah.
Am I the astronaut for making my partner a home-cooked meal? How dare you? Suggested something for dinner, pasta with spinach and chicken with lemon and garlic. Told him exactly what it was and what was in it. He said, sure, wasn't really bothered. I spent ages making it from scratch. He sat on his phone, didn't offer to help or ask how it's going. When it was finished, he didn't say thank you. We sat down to eat. He said he didn't like it. He doesn't get lemon pasta. I said, it's a common dish. I've had it before. I said, I'm sorry, he doesn't like it. I know he can't help not liking it. He was in such a mood, pushing his plate away, saying he doesn't know what he can eat now. I suggested what we had in the flat. Soup, both tinned and some that I made from scratch, as well as other soup. Chips, a suggested takeaway, but he didn't want any of these. He walked out of the flat and said he's going to go get something else. I'm sorry he doesn't like it, but why am I made to feel like the bad one here? I've spent ages making a home-cooked meal, and he's in a mood with me. Also, if this was flipped, I would have just eaten it to be polite and later told him it wasn't quite for me or suggest a tweak for next time. We've been together for over a year, but friends for 10 plus. Am I the astronaut or is he?
Suggestion. You take the booty crumbs from the toilet from the previous story and you scrape them into a bowl.
There's the comma. There's the comma. Where's the other half of the sentence?
I mean, you scrape them into a bowl and then you put the bowl in front of them. And then what may be, may be.
It's like, oh, croutons.
Yeah, croutons.
Tiny ones. Yes, he was probably in a sour mood, and if that was directed at you, he is the asshole for that. If he was just grumpy because now he's hungry and he doesn't know what he wants and he's in that spot but doesn't really like lemon stuff, this could also be another failure to miscommunicate. Because so far, he didn't said anything to you directly about you f***ing up. You might just have that internal monologue going on. So
Shit on his wall.
shit on his wall. Am I the astronaut after selling a concert ticket that I bought for my ex? My ex and I broke up at the beginning of July. It was a very sad situation as we had been together for a long time, had a home together, pets, etc., but we had decided that we were going to remain friends. A couple of weeks later, my favorite band announced a show in our city. She had also come to really like this band over the course of our 4 years together. The tickets were going on sale while I was on a family trip where I would have little to no cell service. She said that she would go ahead and buy them for us to go together as friends. I texted her reminding her when the tickets went on sale as this band sells out very quickly. After about an hour of not hearing from her, I started attempting to buy them myself and luckily had a small window where I had enough service to get tickets for us to go together. A few weeks ago, she decided that we could no longer be friends as it was hurting her mental health and that she needed space. I respected her wishes, and the only communication that I had with her was very professional as we were still sorting out paperwork for the house that we had together. The last time I talked to her was 8 days before the concert about an update on the house. 3 days before the concert, I sent her some money I had agreed to send her for the house, and she never said anything to me or even acknowledged it. At this point, all paperwork and finances were done with the house. I figured her lack of reply made it very clear that we were not on speaking terms. I assumed that when she said she didn't want to be friends, that included that she didn't want to go to the concert together because, after all, I had bought the tickets for us to go together as friends. She also never texted me to ask about the tickets, offered to buy one from me, asked me to send it to her, nothing. I told a friend of mine that I had an extra ticket because my ex and I were planning on going together, but that didn't work out, so we went to the show. 15 minutes before the show start time, I get a call from my ex. I don't answer, and she sends me a text saying that I have her ticket. I've already been at the show since doors. I don't have the ticket anymore. I tell her that I gave the ticket to someone else since she said she didn't want to be friends anymore. She then asked if I was serious, and I repeated myself, saying that she didn't want to be friends anymore, and that she's been posting on social media mocking me and making fun of me, including my physical appearance. She then explodes, calling me an asshole, a piece of shit, telling me to burn in hell, a prick, anything you can think of. I genuinely thought that if she was interested in the show, she would have texted me. She said she didn't want to be friends and that she needed space, so I respected that. Am I the astronaut for giving her ticket to someone else? Thoughts?
Isn't that what friends with benefits means? No friends, no benefits. Benefits being the concert tickets. None of them. I don't get those.
I think you can have friends that have concert ticket benefits without being officially friends with benefits. Normally, friends with benefits means other kinds of benefits.
What about friends with concert benefits? And in this case, I mean, like, look, if you...
Friends with merch.
Yeah. Like, if you are friends with what's a type of chef? Like a pastry chef? If you're friends with a pastry chef and he's making you a cake and then you decide you don't want to be friends with him anymore and you don't talk to him for weeks, and then the day of when you're supposed to have the cake, you're like, where's my cake? And he's like, I ate it. You can't, like, tell him to go to hell because he ate your cake, because that wasn't your cake. That was his cake, and he ate it. And those were his benefits.
It's his cake, and he ate it, too.
Yeah. So you can't get his benefits.
The way you say it, make it sound like, you know, she's trying to marry him for healthcare or something.
Well, it's a similar situation.
Half of me thinks that she forgot until...
But it seems like she was like texting him like after she had already been in line for quite some time.
No, she hadn't been in line.
Well, no, but I'm saying it seemed like it because it was 15 minutes before show starts.
Yeah.
And so he'd been there since door
Either
opened.
she forgot or she had another ticket, or she thought she had another ticket and she screwed herself out of that one too. Half of me thinks that's the case, and maybe it was last minute. Maybe she had no intention of going. She just wanted to take a jab at you, because needing space for mental health is one thing. Using that space and time to bully you online is another. Yeah. Like, who the f*** do you think you are to talk shit on me online and then think that I'm still going to give you a ticket to a concert so that we can go together to this concert. Who the is you?
Not somebody who gets benefits.
Exactly.
Definitely not.
Oh.
Hear me, chat. Hear me.
There is no benefits to him being friends with her or to giving her a concert ticket.
He didn't even seem closed off to the idea of giving it to her if she actually wanted it, but she didn't mention it until like you can't like get your plate out and your fork out and go to a restaurant that closed 5 years ago and then expect them to make you some food when it was closed 5 years ago.
Very solid analogy.
And there was no commas on that one.
Am I the astronaut for not telling my partner the end of the movie, even though I knew it would upset them? Warning, major spoilers for the movie Us from 2019 and minor spoilers for the movie Prisoners 2013 included in this story. If you do not want to hear spoilers, earmuffs. Me and my partner love movies and make an effort to watch a film together when we can. Last week, we watched the movie Prisoners. The plot of Prisoners is that two little girls are abducted and their parents attempt to find them and their kidnapper. We both enjoyed it, but they said the movie upset them quite a bit. I don't know that I could watch something like that. A couple days ago, we decided to watch the movie Us. I had already seen the film before, but my partner hadn't. The major twist at the very end of the movie is that the, remember, spoiler alert, protagonist was taken as a child by a replica of themselves, who then took their place and lived as them until adulthood. We began watching. The first scene is of the protagonist as a child wandering off by themselves at night on the beach. My partner turned to me and asked if she was going to be kidnapped or killed since they didn't want to watch another film about a little girl getting abducted. I told them no, as to not reveal the end to them, and we continued the film as normal. After finishing the movie, I asked if my partner enjoyed it. They said yes, but were also upset by the ending, but mostly by me as I didn't tell them. I said that I didn't want to spoil it for them and thought it'd be okay since the rest of the film was void of references to kidnapping or anything similar. They told me that it didn't matter and that they were pissed at me for not telling them. They then went to bed and didn't speak to me for the rest of the night. Am I the astronaut? It's not just not telling them and not warning them. If there's a direct question, you put yourself in a position to have to lie, which is way different than not warning someone. You know what I mean? Like lying and not warning somebody are two very different things. So is it, I don't know. It was a direct ask for a spoiler. And maybe that's
lie.
Maybe there. Caden Thunder says he would lie.
I have a unique perspective on this because
okay,
what I watch on YouTube primarily is like movie and TV show reaction channels. So I love seeing people react to those moments. Like that's what I choose to watch all the time. So when I'm watching a movie with somebody, like if I was watching Us with somebody who didn't know the ending of Us and they asked like, this doesn't happen, right? I'd be like, no. And then I would be so entertained by the shock on their faces. And does that make me an astronaut? Perhaps it does, but at the same time, at least I'm an honest one.
Here's the best part of the interaction with Caden. He would lie to them, and then as that moment was approaching, he would turn from the screen and just be staring at them like this.
I have no. I have the exact face I would make. Have you seen that movie with Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal where they're driving in the car and Pedro looks at him and goes,
yeah,
that's the face I would make as like the scene was happening.
Okay, so
but like you can't ruin the movie for just because somebody asks me to, like, you know.
There was a comma and he filled the second half of the sentence with so yeah, yeah. So I think you have two different issues. You're not the astronaut for not spoiling the movie. You probably are the astronaut to your partner for lying, which is a different thing. There is an escalation there. And again, I think the fork in the road here is are you wanting to explore the technicalities of being right and wrong? Or do you want to find a way to communicate through this and find a solution together and find common ground and move forward and grow and blah, blah, blah? Which way are you interested in? Because there are options both ways here. You could argue this and say, I did it to protect the integrity of the journey and the experience. You could do that. And then you would have to kind of own it and say, moving forward, I will continue to do that. Or you can have it out about doing that, and now there's a new focus for a fight, right? The other side of it is that you own up to it, and you're like, yeah, I was trying not to spoil it, but I understand that I had to lie, and I'm sorry for that, and I will not do that again. But I really hate spoiling movies for you, so please don't ask me that. You know what I mean? You can find some. You can give and take a little bit here.
He'd be like, oh, you should have told me about that movie. It traumatized me. And be like, oh, I'm sorry. You want a fruit cup? I got ones with peaches. I got about 3 left in my fridge right now. Who are you?
Is it an NT? It's an NTA for Caden Thunder here. We can go ahead and say that.
I would say NTA.
So it's an NTA. I feel like you've got,
or you got
to make some choices.
Like a faint asshole.
A faint asshole?
Just like a translucent one.
Every year, my boyfriend, 21 male, and I, 22 female, go on a break because he doesn't know what he wants. I'm sorry, what? My boyfriend and I have been together for 5 years. We've also been great together, and there's no one else in the world I would rather be with. We make each other laugh, we like the same things, we have our own hobbies, so we don't drive each other crazy, and we've been through so much as a couple. I am in graduate school a state away from him, about a 4-hour drive. We went into long distance fairly easily, so it blindsided me when he suddenly told me he didn't know if our relationship is what he wants. He's always struggled with a fear of commitment, so I've tried to support him, though, by trying to not pressure him into moving forward. Problem is that every year for the last 3 years, he's gone through a struggle with wanting to be with me. He wants to take a break from our relationship and be separate for a while, which I've agreed to the last 2 years. Every year so far, he's come back to me saying he was being stupid and he regrets ever being on a break. We talk things through and move forward. I thought after last year we'd be done with it, but today he gave me the same speech he's always given me about wanting a break and wanting space. I put us on the break this time because I didn't want to beg him to stay with me. Oh, okay, so it was OP's choice this time. I'm blindsided by this whole thing, and I'm so confused about where it comes from. We're so great for 90% of the year, and then the end of March comes around, and he freaks out and wants to break up with me. He said he loves me and always will, but he doesn't know what he wants. If he comes back again, do I take him back? I don't know what to do. Okay, before we get into relevant comments and shit, can we just address the fact that it happens at the end of March every fucking year? Can we just go ahead and like remove the wool from OP's eyes and try to just be like, babe, either somebody's going on a spring break trip, somebody's going on an annual vacation, and this is the time of year he wants to cheat on you. And you know what? What a gentleman, because he doesn't cheat on you. He breaks up with you temporarily, and then afterward does the same shit, and comes crawling back and is like, baby, I'm so sorry. You're the only one for me. I never. But now you've got a pattern, and it should be pretty easy to call this what it is. How has this not occurred to OP? Okay, top and relevant comments here. Oh, you have a thought?
No, I would just say the one way to make him know what he really wants is to say, if you do this again, I will not take you back.
Boundary.
I mean, I wouldn't take him back anyways, because clearly something is going on if it's the same time every single year.
Top and relevant comments. Sounds fishy to me. Always around the same time. I wouldn't put up with it. 3 years in a row he's done this. You deserve to be with someone who loves you no matter what. 2. Always the same timing. He's up to something. Some trip, event, regular visit home by his ex, something he's not admitting. Anyway, this whole setup is BS. You've been together since you're kids. You've changed, grown, and in my humble opinion, probably grown apart. Most teen relationships time out when you get to college. This one has lasted longer than most, but still is, again, in my humble opinion, overdue to end anyway. And off and on relationships never end well. OP says, this time of year is when he gets really busy and overwhelmed with school.
You're long distance. How could that even like?
If he's going to school in another woman's pants, you are correct. I attribute the timing to that. I don't suspect anything else is going on behind my back. No, it's not. He's a really good person and not at all the type to be sneaky. I told him not to contact me unless he's willing to fight for me this time. I would feel really stupid if I had wasted 5 years. It's the sunk cost fallacy driving all of this. Comment 3, overwhelmed with school. Ha 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 ha. Oh wait, you're serious. Let me laugh even harder. 2 words. Spring break. OP response. His spring break already happened 2 weeks ago. He visited me. It's not spring break. 4, definitely sounds fishy. Does he ever go on spring break somewhere? Sounds like he wants the break to go bang other people and do some shit that would cause you to break up with him for good. So he does this as a way of not feeling guilty, like having his cake and eating it too. There is a final update here 3.5 months later. Before we get into that, we gotta talk
So
about
it's not
this.
his spring break, someone else's spring break?
Or ex visiting back home, like that's a possibility. Something is happening around this time every year, and that would be the question I'm asking. Like, what is happening that time of year?
I could understand like needing space to concentrate on your studies, so I'm not as available, but breaking up with you because he doesn't know what he wants, is telling you what he wants and then he comes back around. I feel like they're long distance though. Like she could give him the space he needs because it's already there. So what is he needing to make it like it's
He doesn't want to be attached. Final update 3.5 months later. Every year, my boyfriend, 21 male, and I, 22 female, go on a break because he doesn't know what he wants. It's been about 4 months since my first post, and I thought I'd post an update. Looking back on this post, I can't believe what a difference 4 months has made. After posting it, I read my own words and realized the relationship was over. I was making excuses for him and justifying staying miserable in the relationship because I just loved him so much. We had a talk when I visited my hometown and broke up. We both were emotional, but knew it was for the best, and I was content thinking we were going to spend time being single and discovering who we are as individuals after being so close for so long. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I found out he had been cheating for at least the last couple of months before telling me he wanted another break. He began officially dating the new girl about 3 days after we broke up, and he moved in with her after a couple of months of dating. He has always been super resistant to commitments before, so that came as a shock. My self-esteem took a huge hit. Now things are different. I discover new things about myself every day. I spend time with my friends who make me feel loved and important, and I'm truly happy for the first time in a long time. At first, I wanted to start dating again, and I told myself I was ready, but the truth is that there's so much I don't know about myself yet, and I want to get to know me before I focus on another relationship. Anyway, thank you to the people who commented and let me know that something was going on. As obvious as it was to them, I was completely blindsided. I'm just grateful to be out of that situation, and I'm excited for what's ahead. Top and relevant comments here. 1, awesome that you're putting yourself first and moving on happily. I'm sorry he was cheating. That's tough. OP says, I'm telling myself it was something that had to happen for me to finally have a reason to get over him. Another comment here. Congratulations. I truly believe you'll be way happier than him, if not already. It takes a lot of strength to go through the self-discovery process, and I think you still have some more revelations about your ex-boyfriend/relationship that you're going to discover. I know you said your self-esteem took a hit when he moved in with his next girlfriend, but it won't be sunshine and rainbows like you think it will. First, if he cheated on you with her, he will cheat on her, and that is the opposite of commitment. Second, their relationship is already showing signs that it's an unhealthy one. Ergo, the relationship is moving way too fast if they already have moved in together. I think you would fully understand and have a revelation about this when you go into your next relationship when you're ready. It also sounds like he doesn't know how to be single. He just jumped from one relationship to another instantly. This is where you have the hugest one-up on him because you're starting to discover how you can love yourself without any validation from anyone else. And that is a powerful thing because the more you love yourself, the more confident you are and the more people you attract because of it. So own it and enjoy it. Pretty inspiring stuff. Glad to hear you're in a great place in your life and taking the time to get to know yourself. A relationship can be a great addition to our lives, but if it's filling a void, we're doing it wrong. No other person can fill the me-shaped spot in your heart. OP says something I had to learn the hard way for sure. In the end, I'm so grateful that it happened.
And this guy. Anybody that does that to someone else, like he just toyed with her emotions and he used her basically. And obviously it was love is blind. And I think that's a saying for a reason because she was in love with him. But no matter how hard you love someone, you can't make them love you back. You can't make them want to commit to you because you love them harder. It just, life doesn't work like that. But to be able to be given the gift of learning about yourself and figuring out who you are at the age of 22 is something that he will never get.
Yeah.
And is something that will, his whole life, he'll be chasing the next high of whatever it is that he's looking for. And to say that he doesn't know what he wants and he's afraid of commitment and to watch him do that with another person, I'm sure it was heart-wrenching and that it hurt. But don't let that hurt become who you are. Let that hurt power you forward and help you heal and become the person that you want to be.
Yep.
And that's like hindsight, looking back from almost 40 to, like what we go through in our 20s to define who we are. And so she gets to do that without being attached to some dead weight.